Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to Robert Sports Show. I'm your host, Robert. Alright, NASCAR Cup Series, Mobil 1 301 from New Hampshire Motor Speedway, the 54th race in the Cup Series history at New Hampshire Motor Speedway. 318.458 miles, 301 laps, the track's a little over a mile, 3 stages, 75, 115, and 116, 8 sets of tires, fuel window 85 to 90 laps. We know with the new right side tires are a little softer, not quite as soft as Bristol, I don't think, but we do know temperature makes a difference, so we'll definitely have to see what happens in that race tomorrow. I know at practice and qualifying today, we saw Josh Berry going out fourth. Typically, the earlier you go out qualifying, the more of a hindrance it is. He hung on until real late to get a top 3 start. So, what are tires going to do? We saw some very low air pressure tires during practice. They weren't gaining air pressure. So is that going to change the handling? So a lot of unknowns going into this race. The last 3 races at New Hampshire have been won by Toyota. Toyota's won 11 of the last 18. Ford has won 6 and then only 1 Chevrolet. The previous 18, before the last 18, the previous 18, 12 won by Chevrolet. So we've had that kind of 18 race stretches here. Where now we got Toyota kind of domination. We had Chevrolet's a dominator. Last year we had the tied for the 3rd most cautions in the history of this track in 53 races at 14. The most came in 2015 at 15. 2014 with 15. Christopher Bell, what can you say? He's won 2 in a row here, 2 of the last 3. So yeah, Toyota's figured this out. Joe Gibbs Racing has won 3 straight. If either Denny Hamlin if Chase Briscoe or Ty Gibbs win, they'll have won 4 straight with 4 different drivers because Martin Truex won in the 19. So it's a Toyota track right now. Qualifying his look like it's a 4-track and Penske track. But remember, Joey Logano also did the tire test. So did Seabell. So we'll see what that does, if anything. Now, this is the same tire we're taking to Phoenix. So Richmond, New Hampshire, Phoenix, Iowa, Worldwide Technology are their gateway. Those are all kind of that similar track type. If you look at the 23 races in the Gen 7 car at those tracks, Joey Logano average finished 10.087 with 3 wins. Christopher Bell 10.261 with 4 wins. Denny Hamlin 10.45 with 3 wins. Ryan Blaney 10.565 with a win. Kyle Larson 10.739 and a win. William Byron 11.478. These are average finishes with 2 wins. Chris Buescher 12.955 with a win. Ross Chastain 12.957 with a win. Chase Elliott 13.1 and Josh Berry 13.6. Now, if we look at just the 3 races at New Hampshire in the Gen 7 car, Josh Berry finished 3rd last year. 3.0 average finish, 1 race. Kyle Larson 7.0. John Hunter Nemechek 8.0, 1 race, finish 8th. Chase Briscoe 9.0. Again, we know James Small, that 19 crew there for Joe Gibbs Racing, they know how to win at New Hampshire, so that could also play a big factor. Seabell 10.33 and 2 wins, so he had 2 wins and then kind of a not so great finish. Chase Elliott 10.66, Tyler Reddick 11.0, Denny Hamlin 12.33, Chris Buescher 12.33, and Brad Keselowski 12.33. What is wild is average finish can obviously be manipulated due to different factors, running out of gas, or that's how you finish. You could have ran up front all day long, but how you finished. So that's what the stat of average running position is kind of one of my go-to stats, because that kind of says how you ran lap after lap after lap. Yeah, you could have gotten in a crash at the last lap. As close as everybody is these days, you can finish 38th, but you ran up front all day. So if you look at the last 3 races at New Hampshire, average running position, Christopher Bell 6.417. Josh Berry last year finished 3rd, yes. Average running position was 7.05. Kyle Larson 7.75. Joey Logano 8.69. His average finish isn't even in the top 10, so he runs well, just doesn't finish well. Denny Hamlin 9.01. Ryan Blaney 9.7 10.97. Chase Elliott 10.61. Bubba Wallace 12.23. Tyler Reddick 13.44. William Byron 13.57. On the NASCAR Fantasy side, NASCAR Fantasy Live, you can play each driver 5 times in the 10 race playoffs. So I'm kind of going Toyota, Ford here. I'm going with Ryan Blaney, going with Christopher Bell, Bubba Wallace, Tyler Reddick, Denny Hamlin, and I got Joey Logano in the garage, which just means by the end of stage 2, I need to determine if I want to put Joey in and take somebody out, or if I'm comfortable with it. Or sometimes in my case, I'm behind watching the race, and time I've been making a change, it's already too late. The head-to-heads there in NASCAR Fantasy Live, Seabell and Kyle Larson, I'm taking Seabell. Chase versus Chase Elliott versus Chase Briscoe, I'm taking Chase Briscoe. Bubba Wallace versus his best friend, Ryan Blaney. That's a tough one. I'm taking Bubba on that one. Joey Logano versus Ross Chastain, I'm taking Joey Logano. This is the first race of the round of 12 in the playoffs. So right now, we have 3 fresh races, and then the bottom 4 will be eliminated. Right now, we got Denny Hamlin plus 26, Kyle Larson, William Byron both plus 24, Seabell plus 20, Ryan Blaney plus 19, Chase Briscoe plus 10, Chase Elliott plus 5, Bubba Wallace plus 1, Austin Cindric minus 1, Ross Chastain minus 2, Joey Logano minus 2, and Tyler Reddick minus 3. If you win, you move on. You got to be top 8 in points to move on. Now, I know there's been a lot of talk here recently of playoffs, and I love when people throw out there, nobody likes the playoffs. That's wrong. That's a lie. Everybody wants it changed. Well, that's a lie as well. The 2 polls that have been on Jeff Gluck's poll, Mark Martin's poll, both were 1% of the fan base, maybe 2%, depends on how long the poll's been out now. And it depends on what you classify as a fan base. You classify the fan base as the 4 million that watched Daytona. Okay. If you look at it as there's 1.5 million that watched the last race, I based the fan base off about 2 million. The number that I've kind of came up with is 2 million based on most of the ratings all year. The average rating is right around there. So between 1.75 and 2.5 is kind of where the fan base, I would say, is, because you're going to have the casual fan that just tunes in from race to race. Nothing else on, will watch this race. You have the diehards that watch every race, every lap, everything. And then you have kind of the middle ground where, yeah, I may not watch qualifying and practice, but I'm going to watch the race. It's Saturday night. I may watch the race on replay tomorrow and record it. I may watch it on streaming. I may go here, or Kenny Wallace has said he just goes and kind of looks for live updates, follows X, looks at highlights, and that's how he watches the race. So there's different ways to take this sport in. So if you figure, say 2 million is a fan base, these polls have been about 2 to 3% of that, I think 2% at the most. And so you have the majority of 2% that say get rid of the playoffs, or no play, full season. The other 98% of the fans haven't weighed in. Me, I don't, just like Freddie Kraft said, I don't see us ever going back to a full 36 race season. We're going to have some type of playoff. Now, this whole Winston Cup points that are out there, which I block every time I see it because I think it's just horrible. It's completely ridiculous. That is not the way they race anymore. Now, if you want to come at me and say, well, without the playoffs, this is the points, based on the actual points we earned today, then we can have a conversation. I have that right here. William Byron leading, Ryan Blaney minus 26, Denny Hamlin minus 69. So you have 2 drivers that are basically within a race. Then you have Kyle Larson minus 69, Seabell minus 70, Chase Elliott minus 88. Now again, these are just non-playoff points. Just if we just points race 1 through 29. No playoffs, no nothing, just the points based, and this is the actual true points that we earned today. So again, the Winston Cup points are not accurate because the point value isn't used. This is actually today's point value, just take the playoffs away. Christopher Bell, like I said, minus 70, Chase Elliott minus 88, Chase Briscoe minus 93, Tyler Reddick minus 119. Those are the drivers within 2 races of the leader. Chris Buescher, 203 points behind. That's 3 races. Alex Bowman 205, Bubba Wallace 207, and Joey Logano 217. Now, I have talked about the points thing that I would personally use. Now, my format, whatever you want to call it, that I have done a video about and I've talked about in videos, I would change the points, the total overall points. But in this exercise, I'm not changing the points. It's based on the true points that we use today. So my playoff would have been, my idea is you win and you're in. We keep that. So you take the top 15 in points plus any additional winners. You run 3 races. You top 12 move on. No reset. No win and move on. So we did the initial reset of the playoffs. You run 3 races. The top 12 move on. That's where we're at. So in my format with that, so the 15 that made the top 15 points made it, plus the 3 additional winners, which is Josh Berry, Austin Dillon, and Shane Van Gisbergen. The 2 that made it on points, because the top 15, was Chris Buescher and Ryan Preece. So I would have the original 16 the NASCAR had, plus 2 based on the top 15 in points, would be Ryan Preece and Chris Buescher. So after the 3 races, you have Chase Briscoe leading in points, Ryan Blaney -6, Denny Hamlin -17, Christopher Bell -28, William Byron -28, Kyle Larson -35, Bubba Wallace -37, Tyler Reddick -41, Logano -47, Chris Buescher -51, Ross Chastain -63, and Chase Elliott -71. Eliminated would have been Austin Cindric, Brian Preece, Alex Bowman, Austin Dillon, Shane Van Gisbergen, and Josh Berry. Again, I know this isn't accurate. I know this is just reformatting what we do today with points in a different format. Again, we don't race based on this, so the strategies may have been different throughout the first round of the playoffs. Just kind of this is what it looks like. Same way with non-points, what it looks like. Again, the Winston Cup stuff, we don't race. We race based on stages. Winston Cup doesn't. We don't race based on getting points for laps led. Winston Cup did. We don't race based on most laps led. Winston Cup did. See the difference? So, again, my idea for the playoffs would be win and you're in, top 15 points plus additional winners. This is what it looks like with no reset and no win and move on. We're going to run the next 3 races. Top 8, no win and move on, no reset. We get to the championship 4, we do a reset. So I'm going to kind of add this in to kind of see what it looks like. But right now it's pretty straightforward. The only real difference is I have Buescher still in and Austin Cindric was eliminated. That's the only change from what today is using based on what my format is. Alright, so the Mobil 1 301, I love the title of this. Perfect Race 301 Mobil 1, I love it. Alright, the 4 picks. Got to go Toyota heavy here. Matter of fact, Joe Gibbs Racing versus Penske. Denny Hamlin, Steve Bell from Joe Gibbs, Ryan Blaney, and Joey Logano from Team Penske. Those are the 4. Hamlin, Blaney, Logano, and Bell. As always, thanks for watching Robert Sports Show. Don't just have a great day. Have a spiffy day. Robert Sports Show, your YouTube leader in sports channel content.